What is going on, Hive Warriors? It's your boy Edward V, and today we're going to talk about walking and running and 5 reasons why you should walk instead of run for weight loss. Let's go ahead and break that down in this video. Stay tuned. Before we start, this video is brought to you by me, Edward, and Fledge Fitness and the Fledge Fitness jump rope. If you haven't gotten yours yet, what are you waiting for? With an ergonomic design, aluminum handle, and swivel design, you can't go wrong with the Fledge Fitness jump rope. You can click on the top right-hand corner of this video or down in the description box below. And of course, as always, guys, thank you so much for your support. Now let's go ahead and jump right into the video. All right, first, I want to make something very, very clear, or 2 things clear before I jump into the top 5 reasons. Number 1, I know a lot of people want to say, oh, well, you know, running is more aerobic, and also because it's low intensity, you're burning more fat than you are carbohydrates. And with running, you're burning more carbohydrates than you are fats. In terms of the actual moment by moment, you are, because it's low intensity, your body doesn't require that immediate super supply of energy, so it goes for fats instead, but you still end up burning less calories overall, and the calorie amount is going to matter more when it's all said and done. The best thing you can do is burn fat and burn more calories all at the same time if you were looking at this in a vacuum. But you're sacrificing one thing for the other, but it doesn't necessarily give you a benefit on that thing, because overall you need to be at a net negative energy balance in terms of your calorie numbers to actually burn off the most amount of fat at the end of the day. The energy substrate would just be switched later on. So you'll be burning more glycogen throughout the day than someone who ran and burned most of their glycogen throughout their run. So just keep that in mind. And number 2, I'm not saying that walking is better than running or that running is better than walking. These are 5 reasons why you may want to walk instead of run. But everything has its pros and cons. If these reasons are enticing to you, then you can go ahead and pick walking over running. Now let's go ahead and jump into the 5 reasons. Reason number 1, the cost of entry for walking as cardio is the lowest of all the other cardio. Even if I sell jump ropes, and that's the main product of Fledge Fitness. I sell jump ropes at an affordable price, but even that affordable price can be $0. You probably already own a pair of sneakers. Throw those pair of sneakers on, whichever one they are, doesn't matter, and walk. You can walk at any moment. You don't need to buy a bike. You don't need any special running gear or shoes, because there's certain things that are required for running that you don't need for walking. So the cost of entry for walking is just literally $0, which makes it the most excuse puncher out there for anybody who's trying to make an excuse that they just can't get any fitness in throughout the day or any cardio in. If you can wake up in the morning and go to sleep at night, you can walk. So cost of entry is 0, so you don't have to think too much about it. As long as you have any sort of will, there is an absolute way to get cardio in, especially when it comes to walking. Number 2, walking is the best cardio for people who hate cardio. That's right. You might be a little bit bored walking, but all you got to do in this technological age is bring your phone with you, bring some music, bring a podcast, and before you know it, you're just listening to the podcast and strolling down the street, having a good old time and entertaining yourself while walking at the same time. So it might be a little bit boring, especially if you just do it with no type of entertainment and you're just walking for 30 minutes straight and then walking back home. I'm sure it'll be a little bit boring, but for those who don't want to have the heavy breathing or that maximum heart rate increase or any type of huffing and puffing and being drained or feeling super fatigued, if no one wants to deal with that, and you don't want, and that's basically all the other cardio things that you can do, walking is the best one. It's the most relaxed one. It's the most serene one where you could just do it and you're fine. And when you come back, you might be breathing a little bit heavier than you were before, but nothing out of the ordinary, and it's not going to drive you nuts. The only thing that I would say with walking is probably the boredom, because it's something exciting about running. Just the act of running, there's a feeling of excitement there, especially if you're running through, the street and coming back and going home. But walking through the streets, that if done without any entertainment might be a little bit boring, but there's no excuse. We live in this technological age. Everybody has something they can listen to while they're walking. Throw that on, have some fun, and keep yourself from making any excuses about cardio. If you don't like cardio, walking does not give you any of those bad feelings of tired and fatigue and energy drained that other cardio session like swimming, running, biking would give you. Number 3 is you walk simply by nature, so you can be way more creative in terms of walking more throughout the day than you can with running. Listen, you can't be at work and just run more for no reason and run through the hallways and do all these things constantly for no reason. But you can walk for no reason at all times. Instead of taking the elevator, you take the stairs. Instead of going down that way, you go around the corner and come back around and enter through the back area. Instead of parking your car super close to the mall, you park your car super far and you walk to the mall. No one's gonna look at you like you're the weirdo that's constantly walking, when walking is natural. All you have to do is make sure you're standing up in your house and you're consistently walking around the house. You can add more steps by doing that, by doing what's called incidental walking, by simply being creative and finding ways to walk more throughout the day on a consistent basis. Something that running cannot give you, because then you're going to look like a crazy person just running everywhere. Walking is natural. Walking has no social stigmas or weirdness. You'll be just fine by adding more creative incidental walking moments throughout the day. Number 4, and probably the best reason to walk over running, is the super low, incredibly low, negligible injury risk when it comes to walking versus the ultra high negligible injury risk when it comes to running. Running, you can mess up your hips, your joints, your ankles, your back, you name it. It's very easy. It has almost a 20% negligible injury risk compared to like a 2% negligible injury risk when it comes to walking. Walking is much safer than running. And if you get injured running, you can't run anymore. You have to take time to heal. And if you only have a 2% negligible injury risk possibility of getting hurt from walking, you're probably not going to get hurt. That's equivalent to winning the lottery almost. You're probably not going to get hurt. You can just go ahead, walk, and feel confident that you'll be able to walk the next day and the day after that. And that's more than you can say for running. So walking in this respect is probably the most polarizing reason for you to choose walking over running if you were deciding to pick a cardio thing that you wanted to do. Walking is by far the safest cardio, period. Now let's go ahead and go to the last one. And this kind of segues perfectly into the last one, number 5. It can be done at almost any age. Running can be done at almost any age, but you also have to have been running so that your body is fortified for you to do that consistently. If you aren't a runner or you haven't been running, not running and then just being 65 and deciding, hey, I'm going to run right now, can be incredibly dangerous. But walking, no matter what age you are, as long as you are capable of walking, you are capable of walking. So any age, walking is still available to you, even if you aren't a pro athlete from before or were athletic from before. You just need to be able to walk normally, and then you can walk for cardio. So those are the 5 reasons you should probably walk versus run for weight loss. And if these 5 reasons are enticing to you, well, there you go. You got walking. Well, there you go. You have yourself a perfect cardio thing to do for your cardio. Hope this video was helpful for you guys. And of course, as always, I want to thank my patrons for my Patreon. I'm going to go ahead and put their names right up here.